Hey all, here OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on review of the Derkin X7. These are TWS wireless earbuds with Bluetooth 5.0 that sell for $40. So I know what you're thinking, we've seen a lot of these already, and it's true. These are a pretty typical average pair as far as generic wireless earbuds go. However, it's the design of the battery case that's a little bit interesting. It slides open like a door, and you have access to the earbuds inside. Now this design is actually really similar to the Rokin Accent Charge Plus, which has that same kind of design for the battery case, but these are of course much more expensive. The other interesting thing here is they claim to have a slightly newer Bluetooth chipset that allows you to connect up to 66 feet away. So the average with Bluetooth earbuds are 10 meters, usually around 33 feet, so that's almost double the distance. So the connection range should be excellent on these, one of the strongest in terms of the specs I've seen. But the downside of these seem to be the battery life. They can last up to 4 hours on a single charge, and it gives you 16 hours combined with the battery case, so it charges it about 4 times. That's also a little bit shorter than the average, which we've seen now. That's about 20 hours, some which go up to 90 or 100 hours. So considering that the case's dimensions aren't the smallest that we've seen, it's slightly on the disappointing side. Inside, we've got the earbuds and the charging case. We also have some spare silicone tips, but there are no larger wings, so you won't find something that's a bit more resistant to falling out for sports and exercising. These are more meant for casual wearing. There's also a micro USB cable for charging the battery case and a quick instruction manual. So if we take a closer look at the design of the battery case here, it is made entirely out of a soft touch silicone material that feels pretty good. The weight though is surprisingly light. And there's a pre-attached lanyard which is made out of a leather as well as aluminum accent, so it actually feels quite sturdy and easy to carry around with this little strap. So it's very fashionable in terms of its case design, and you need to pop it open with a bit of force to open it up and reveal the earbuds on the inside. So certainly a very stylish appearance. Now if we do a quick size comparison, the thing is these are about the same size as other earbuds such as the TMAT Force. In fact, the dimensions are slightly larger than the Tiamat Force, which is a little problematic because the Tiamat does have 6 hours of battery life on the earbuds, and it also has a larger capacity for the power bank. It gets you about 34 hours combined with the battery case, which is twice the battery life that you'll find from the X7. But regardless, it's sufficient for a day's use, again lasting you over 16 hours. Now of course the design of the earbuds themselves are not quite as distinctive as the battery case in that they are pretty generic looking. They just have a teardrop shape to them. Again, there's no larger wing, so they don't fit in quite as well for the purposes of vigorous sports and exercising. However, they are very lightweight and generally just very comfortable, even for longer bursts of listening. Moving into audio quality and performance, thankfully they sound pretty good, but then again, most Bluetooth 5.0 earbuds already sound good, so it's no better, no worse than its competitors, including Tiamat, including M-PAUs, T5s, and T6s. There's plenty of bass for earbuds, so if you're listening to EDM tracks with drum beats, it definitely is very punchy for something so small, and mids are also quite rich. I think trebles and kind of higher notes could be more articulated. Right now it tends to bleed a bit more and emphasize mids and bass a bit more, so it's definitely very consumer grade in terms of how the sound profile is tuned, which is perfectly fine. Again, for things like EDM, for pop music, rock, it is a great experience. Distortion is also surprisingly low, so you can turn the volume down and there's barely any static or hissing in the background. That's very rare for these Bluetooth earbuds, so I think they've done a great job there. I think that the chipset that they're using is really making a difference because the connection range on these are really excellent, and I've never encountered any disconnects in my testing with a number of phones. You can play and pause the video really quickly, and the left and right channels are still perfectly together. So that's more or less it for our hands-on review of the Derkin X7. For $40, I think it's a reasonable buy. It has a very stylish battery case that makes it seem more expensive than the price would suggest. They feel very comfortable, and there's also a good amount of bass that I think for consumer type music and for watching movies, thrillers, action films, it's perfect for that. However, the capacity of the battery case could definitely be larger considering its overall size, and in general, again, it might not be the cheapest model out there. We checked out a few pairs from AlphaWise that have very similar sound and might be more practical because there's a built-in wing for sports, making them fit a bit more snugly, which these obviously lack. However, these definitely look more stylish. Check out more details in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Derkin X7 TWS Bluetooth earbuds.